Hi everyone, today we're going to be working out what your payments would be on a Volkswagen California, including some discount. Today we're going to have a look at the best way to be able to work out what your PCP payments would be if you wanted to buy a Volkswagen California. Now the method I'm going to show you works for any vehicle as long as you can find out some basic details. And just as a very brief explanation, the way that PCP works, so PCP finance is where you have a deposit which goes in at the start. Sometimes you can put zero in if you don't want to put a deposit in. They might not let you do that, but sometimes you can. You then pay a set amount of monthly payments, and then you have a residual value for the van, which is worked out at the start of the agreement. But effectively, if you want to keep the van or keep the car after the payments of the monthlies have been made over the term that you decide, so 36, 48 months, etc., you can then have the choice of paying that last payment, and that effectively makes it yours entirely and the loan's paid off. You can hand it back to the dealer and walk away, because that's effectively covered from your perspective, or the dealer will guarantee you that future minimum value, and it's called a guaranteed future value of the van. So you're basically offsetting some of the value of the asset while you make payments on it, and then they're obviously guaranteeing that it's going to be worth that much at the end. And quite a lot of the time you'll get to the end of the payment period, the van will be worth more than the guaranteed future value, which means you've got some equity in it, which means that if you want to buy something else and you're part exchanging it, then obviously you've got an opportunity there to use the equity that you've built up in the van or the car to be able to then go into the next one as the deposit, and they kind of keep you in that cycle. Now the interesting thing is that on the Volkswagen Vans website for the Volkswagen California, there is some finance information. There's a calculator on there, those kind of things. I'll go into that in a minute. But actually, we all know that you can get some discounts on Volkswagen Californias. And what I'm going to do on the laptop is I'm going to run through the way that I would figure out a rough monthly payment for a Volkswagen California, including the discount. And that's the important bit, because actually, if you want to know what kind of monthly payments you're in for, or you want to figure out what deposit you've got to save to be able to get to a monthly payment figure that you might be interested in, I'll show you how to work that out. So let's jump into the Volkswagen Vans website to start with, because the key Volkswagen Vans, the key thing that you're looking for when you go on the Volkswagen Vans website is you're looking for the guaranteed future value of the van, and to do that, the way that you can find this out is if you go to I think it's financing and offers, finance. Let's have a look. Finance calculator. You can pick the van. So let's go for a California. Let's go for an Ocean, and we're going to select, say, the 150. That'll be fine. So go for a 150, confirm that. How we're going to pay for it. So it's going to be personal, PCP. I'm not going to go into all the different financing options and things. That's probably for a different video. And then this is the important page here, because what you can find out here where it says optional final payment here, that optional final payment's the figure that you're looking for on here, and that's determined by how many miles and how many months, because Volkswagen are trying to figure out how much the van's going to be worth at the end of the term, and they're trying to figure that out based on how many miles it's done, how long you'll have had it. So for example, if we say you're going to have it for 4 years, so a 4-year PCP, and you're going to do 10,000 miles a year, so you put 10,000 here, don't worry about the amounts or deposits or anything. 10,000 miles, 48 months, that gives an optional final payment of that, 37,818. So £37,818 is what Volkswagen think that van is going to be worth after 48 months and 40,000 miles, because it's going to be 4 years worth of 10,000 miles a year. So if you went back to Volkswagen with the van with that on, that's what they think it will be worth. Important to remember. So now we need to find out what discounted price we could get that van for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Drive the Deal, and Drive the Deal is a really good website to get an estimate, well actually more than an estimate, to get a quote for a Volkswagen California. This video is not sponsored by Drive the Deal. We have personally used Drive the Deal in the past for cars and been absolutely fine, so no issue at all. And you can go on here, you can select Volkswagen, select California, brings it up here. Basically this blurb on the screen here basically is saying these discounted prices are based on you taking a PCP product from Volkswagen, etc., etc. All of the prices that are on here are all for Volkswagen vans which are brand new. You'll be the first registered owner and keeper, no kind of pre-registration demo thing or anything like that. So it's absolutely as per you would go into a showroom and place an order for one and it be delivered for you. So it's the 2-litre TDI Ocean there. It's not the 204, not the 4Motion, so that's the Ocean, so picking the same one. Now we didn't add any options at all onto that one on the website, so they think the on the road list price 72,980 and 72,980 is on the Volkswagen website as well, so we know we've got the right van. So if we just click on get discounted price there, we can see here that they would be able to get that van for us for 66,418. Right, so that's important. Now there's another website called pcpcal.co.uk. Now this is a great little website that you can put in the price of a van or a car, so the price that you're going to pay. So I'm going to put in 66,418. I'll put that in there. I'll come on to the deposit in a minute. Don't worry about dealer contribution, Partex or any of that stuff. So the guaranteed future payment, so that's this one here, the 37,818. 37,818. And then the APR rate, so this is the finance APR rate, which is 6.9. So just put that in there. And the number of repayments, which is 48. If you remember, that's what we selected here. So back on here, and if I hit calculate now, so that would be for that van, if we wanted that van just like that, so on 48 months with 6.9% APR and £66,000 or 66,418 for the van, with that kind of residual payment, £900 a month. That's effectively what you're looking at paying for that with no deposit. If you put in a deposit value in here, so let's pick a figure, say 5,781. If you put different deposit amounts, say 10,661. So you can see how the numbers are really easy to play about with once you've got to this stage. So if you knew that you could afford, say, £500 a month, this, with a bit of playing about, you'll be able to figure out what deposit you're going to need to put in to be able to get to that. So let's have a go at, say, 13.5, 578. So maybe, is it going to be 16? So 518, 16.5, 506. So you can see we're getting really close. 16,750. There you go. So £16,750 deposit is required to be able to get the monthly payments at 500. Now, obviously, there's other things you can do. So you could have it over 5 years on PCP. So if you click 60 on there, that'll give us a new final value because it goes down because the van's worth slightly less because it's older, have more miles on. So 33,871. So put that figure in here, 33,871, and it was over 60 months. And if I hit calculate now, this monthly of 500 will go down a little bit. Actually, you know what? It doesn't. So that's really interesting. So what they're saying there is that because the van will be older, actually you're going to pay a little bit more, which is I think is quite fascinating. So it's really worth, it's typical, isn't it? It's really worth playing around with these figures to find the sweet spot. interesting. Let's have a quick go the other way then. Let's say 36 months instead and see what that works out to be. So that's 42,188. So 42,188, and that's 36 months. 473. So it's actually cheaper to have it over a shorter term, which just shows that they're thinking that as the van gets older, they're thinking obviously it's going to depreciate. It's going to depreciate quite considerably. So definitely worth playing around with the numbers just to see where that sweet spot is that might suit you. Obviously what you can do with the Drive the Deal website, I should have said, if you go back, you can spec one of these up with all of the different options. It's actually quite a nice way to see all the different options on the Drive the Deal website because they're all just listed straight there for you. Definitely worth having a bit of a play with these. You can obviously spec up a van however you like, get your discounted price, pop it in the PCP calculator, and then obviously it'll give you the monthly figures. So hopefully this kind of explanation is helpful for you if you're just sitting at home thinking, you know, how much of the monthly is going to be? Am I ever going to be able to afford a Volkswagen California or a car of any description? If you can basically find on the online finance calculators the optional final payment and the APR rate based on how many months and miles you're talking about. If you can find that information out, you can do the rest. So you'll be able to get the discounted price, be able to put it in the calculator. It'll give you a good example of what you might look at paying. Just indicative, you're clearly going to have to get a proper quote. If you do choose to use Drive the Deal, the way that it works is you pay a small deposit to Drive the Deal, which secures that price for you, and then the dealer will send you all the quotations, the Volkswagen finance and everything. You basically deal with the dealer, so it's all kind of handed over from Drive the Deal to them. So obviously there's no issue there. So yeah, definitely worth having a look through. Useful just as a bit of a ready reckoner. So hopefully that's helpful for you. If you like us explaining these kind of things, I know this is a bit technical, this one. If you want a bit more of an explanation on other finance offers, those kind of things, again, not an IFA, obviously use it at your own risk. We're just explaining what we do. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know in the comments below if you're looking at a California, if you're looking at using a PCP. It is an option. It's one way of funding one. We did a video before. Check the link up there at the different ways of being able to fund and finance a California. Have a check out of that video and let us know what you think. And we'll see you again soon for some more California time.